Is November 15, 2023, and this meeting is for our LJ Realty team agents here. And let's get started with our interest rates. So the good news here is that as of last week, the interest rates were falling; they came down. We That's a good sign for us as realtors. How much did they come down? Around 50 basis points. We have seen it on the higher end about 8%, and now we started seeing around 7.5, and this is according to your Freddie Mac. But according to your Mortgage News Daily, which tracks down on daily basis your average interest rates, they came down as of yesterday to 7.4. Again, that's a really good news compared to what we were seeing at 8.03. So this is exactly the conversation you want to have with your clients. Hey, maybe they read a headline that was at 8%, or maybe they were in the know a month ago. Things do change on daily basis, right? And with these weekly meetings, you guys are up to par. Hey, interest rates are going up or down, or at least which direction they're going in. So anybody that you're having a conversation this week, you should say, hey, the interest rates were at 8%. They came down a little bit. Maybe you want to talk to your loan officer and see if that makes a difference to you, or if you want to move forward with your deal, right? Some people are simply going to wait until this comes down to around 6%. Again, there will be more buyers at 6%, and it will be harder for them to find the same property. So you want to have these type of conversation with your clients. For your FHA, they came down to around 6.74, even better for your clients. When they're seeing sixes, they have that little relief compared to 7 or 8. Okay, these are your national averages. And how about affordability? We're going to use a single person making around $70,000 and has a savings of $65,000. He or she, took care of their monthly debt. They are bare minimum around $100 here. You can see here. And interest rates will use 7.4 as today's average. Let's say they're looking for a property in Queens, and these are your taxes and your property insurance. Now, this person can qualify for up to $427,000. If they go with the FHA loan, which their debt to income ratio will be higher, then they will qualify for even more. So, do you guys think that we can purchase a house for $400,000 in Queens? Most likely, the answer is no. Most likely, right? Unless the house is really beat up and they're looking for all cash offers, there might be a different scenarios. We're not talking about that. This is a typical single person trying to purchase a house with a mortgage, and they might have a hard time finding this. What can you guys help me with this client here? One, maybe they want to go with co-ops or condos, right? Maybe they want to have more savings, and then maybe have their income increase, and then maybe purchase a house that's going to be around 500 or $600,000, right? So the scenarios will be different. The point here is that if you're making $70,000, that's not bad income. With $65,000 down payment, with today's interest rate, you're still not qualifying for a single family in Queens, which we see around 500, $600,000 for at least a single family here. The maximum monthly payment, this person should not have any issue with this if it's $3,000 compared to $4,500, $4,600. So your clients are looking at two things. They're looking at their affordability, and they're looking at their maximum monthly payment. That makes a huge difference for them. Are they ready today, or will they be ready next year? Okay, you guys want to be that guide for that client. Hey, Brian helped me out in 2023, and when the time comes, I'm going to go back to Brian, and I'm going to make him my realtor. So you want that type of relationship with your clients. But overall, if you're making less than $100,000, it's going to be hard for you guys to purchase a house. So Americans must earn $107,000 to buy a home in 2023. The median household income for home buyers jumped to 107 compared to 88,000 in 2022. So huge differences. So you have to know that maybe they have a $88,000 job from last year and they feel like they can qualify. We just checked the scenario. Maybe they qualify, but they don't qualify for enough, right? So if they want to find a property that's going to be $625,000, to give you an example, that person definitely needs a cosigner. Okay, so that's the issue a lot of people are going with. So maybe your client does want to purchase, they just simply don't qualify for the house that they want. Okay. So the buyer demand elevated the price despite your affordability concerns. Again, some people are concerned, hey, where's my affordability going? I can't, purchase this house. It's a nice house, but I just can't purchase it. I can't afford it. Right. But people who have been waiting for quite some time simply will make that move, right? Because they're tired of paying their rent and they're ready. So they will make that move. So the demand was higher. So let's talk about home prices. A lot of you guys are calling throughout, week, and we're having that conversation on 101. Hey, I'm about to put in an offer. The listing agent saying I still have, we have a asking price, offer above asking price. Do you guys want to go higher or not? Right? Look at these numbers here, guys. We are going to be looking in Nassau here, starting in January of this year, right? We're at 675. Now from there, if you look at when did it start going down, we saw the change that started happening was in around summertime, around April, May, June, and July. You can see the change in negative, that from last year it was a negative, prices went down. But guess what? After August, September, and October, they're going back up. Why is that happening? Because the same person that was not ready in June, July, or anything like that, they want to make that move this year. So people are purchasing, people are putting in the price, and there are some of them are above asking price. You are the expert. You guys are the realtors, right? You are have all the tools that you need to compare that particular property to everything that's available, right? So you want to guide your clients, say, hey, this property is listed at this. If you really want to get it, let's put it in this price. Okay. So you have to convince them, you have to tell them the reason behind that price point that you're doing. If you show them a chart like this, hey, the rates or the home prices are simply going up. In August, it was not a big jump. It was from 726 to 730. But in September, last year it was at 720, this year 748. And last year in October, it was at 705, and now they're at 750. And this is all in Nassau. And Queens specs are very similar. So the home prices in general, because of low inventory, they are not decreasing as much as your client would want them to. Okay. And how about the inflation, right? The reason we see the interest rates go higher is because of the inflation. That actually decreased as of last month in October to 3.24. That's a good sign. You can see the graph here that we were a little concerned last month and month prior to that, because after July, it started increasing back up and now it's finally decreasing. It's a good sign. If it stays on this trend and it keeps going down, the Fed will not or should not increase the interest rates any higher, or at least leave it steady for quite some time, right? We mentioned this in the last meeting too, that NAR and other companies out there, they're doing the research. They're projecting that the interest rate should stay around sixes for the entire of next year. So if your client is looking for interest rates of 4%, it's not going to happen. And you have to educate them. Hey, tell them you do your research, but from my knowledge, the interest rates will not come down anytime soon. If you're simply going to wait for that. But inflation overall is showing in a positive note. The target for our Fed is around 2%, but right now is at 3.24. Okay. A couple of other headlines here is that today's mortgage rates for November 15th, rates retreat, right? We saw that the rates did come down. So what does that do? That while the interest rates remain elevated, we know that compared to 5 and 6, it's more expensive to buy a house. We know that. And we're going to talk about that a little down the line too, when we are asking our clients, hey, you got to pay me 1% or 2% or X amount, whatever price you guys agreed on for this transaction to happen, if you want me to represent you. So all that, it is getting expensive for your client to purchase a house this day and age. Okay. And mortgage demand climbs to the highest level in 5 weeks. We have seen in the last 4 or 5 weeks, because the interest rates were going higher and higher, guess what? The demand goes lower and lower. And now it's vice versa. The interest rates are going lower, there'll be a little bit more demand for that. Okay. So you can see here your key points here. This is according to CNBC here. After dropping sharply, your interest rates dropping sharply in previous week here. Your average contract interest rates for 30-year fixed rate mortgages for conforming loans was around 7.61. And we get that a lot too. Hey, I see on this website that they're showing national averages of 7.4. Maybe we'll get a client today and say, hey, offer me that 7.4. We know that those are your national averages. You need a lot, there's a lot of factors in behind your interest rate. So you might not get that. You might get lower or you might get higher. A loan officer can give you a full breakdown on that. Okay. Mortgage, your refinances, right? These are the people who are locked in at low interest rate. They're not going to refinance that, but they might have other debts that's involved, right? They might have a lot of credit card debt, they might have a car payment, and they want to pay all of that. And end of the day is one person who's making a mortgage payment at maybe 3%, and then they have a car loan at 4% or 5%, 10%, god knows, right? They have, when you have everything coming out from their own pocket, maybe it does make for sense for them to refinance and get a new interest rate and pay off all the other debt they have. It might not be the best option for everyone. It might be available a good option for few of them, right? So you can see the application for refinances increased around 2%. Okay. And your application for mortgage to purchase home increased around 3% compared to the week before. Okay. Now let's look at some stats here for home buyers are getting older here. You can see this line here. This is your first time home buyers, and that's around 35%. And then your repeat, right? These are your repeat clients. Anybody that's going to be a little bit older, they might have already owned a home. They want to have an investment property. They want to buy a second home. They want to buy a vacational home. Might be different criteria, but these are your repeat buyers, and this is your first time buyers. Okay. First time home buyers, these are people who are maybe super young. Maybe they're just starting their life, just graduating college, and they want to purchase a house instead of just renting all the time. Again, every scenario is going to be different. So you as a realtor want to talk to these clients and see where they're at in their life right now. They're going to make a purchase down the line. Why not you be that guide for them? Okay. We always mention this when we train you guys, when we're putting in on KV Core, when you're setting up alerts, number of bathrooms, right? A lot of people will say, hey, I need 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Sometimes you don't find that in their price point, right? You can decrease the bathroom amounts. So if they say 2 bathrooms, you can put one full and one half, or just put one plus. So you can see here, the demand for it, 62 people want full 2 bathrooms, and then above that, 3 bathrooms and everything like that. We just want to have concern for you guys. If you having that conversation, hey, I need 2 bathrooms but I can't find a property, once you put in KV Core, reduce the number of bathrooms. You cannot do that for the bedrooms because you don't want to compromise that. If they want looking for 3 or 4 bedrooms, you have to provide them that. But for the bathroom, start with one and see what you guys find. Okay. So next, this was an all in the headlines here. New commission lawsuit spread to Manhattan and South Carolina, right? New commission lawsuits target. This is just like how we have LIBOR. We have this for the New York City, and 26 companies were hit with this. Keller Williams for sure, EXP, and there's a lot of large companies that were hit with this lawsuit now. Again, we will see how that lawsuit comes, goes on trial, and what's the outcome for that. You guys should pay attention to this. Maybe your clients are paying attention to this. Remember, we were telling you guys that, hey, maybe your clients should know what are the changes that's coming to the market, or regarding your commission. With these headlines, if they see a New York Times or Daily News and everything like that, they will get educated. Hey, things might be changing, but nothing will change for concrete until we see the results for these lawsuits, right? So, what will happen if these lawsuits does go through, and if they're saying, "Hey, the seller, Mr. Seller, you're gonna pay the listing agent, Mr. Buyer, you're gonna pay your buyer's agent." Simple as that, right? I'm representing you, you're gonna pay me. He's representing that person, he's gonna pay him. I don't have to worry about him or anything like that. So, what are three ways that real estate commission will evolve, right? As new lawsuits hits two dozens, New York City brokerages here. First, your home buyer's agent will have to work harder to prove their value. Let's talk about that, right? Nobody's going to sign an agreement with you guys if you don't provide any value to them, right? And gets buyers to sign a commission agreement upfront like the seller's agent do with the sellers. So you thought that, going to a listing appointment is hard, trying to convince those listing agents or those sellers, hey, I know you're meeting with me and maybe you're meeting with other five agents from different brokerages. How do I stick out? Right? You have to have a presentation. We're going to talk about that. So, you have to make sure that you're working harder than before and you're providing value to your client. Second is that the buyer will need options to finance, right? Their real estate commission if they can't afford to pay it in cash. They already have their down payment, they have their closing costs. Some of them are surprised about the closing costs. Hey, I have to come up with 3%, 5%. And now you as a realtor coming up and saying, hey, I need one, two, three, whatever percentage that you guys negotiating. Maybe they don't have this money in their hand, right? They don't have it in the bank. So someone asked this last week. You guys should all be aware of this. One way would be through seller's concession. Hey, we need to get paid. Person doesn't have this money laying around. So that 2% or whatever, 1%, whatever the amount is, you want to add it to your price and have it as a seller's concession, right? And third is going to be that this may lead to a lower real estate commissions overall because both sellers and the buyer's side commissions are entering into an era of open negotiation. Open negotiation. Nothing is fixed. You can't go to one person and go to the second person and have the same conversation. It might be completely different rather than people just accepting pre-listings, a pre-existing long-standing price model. Listing agent would go to a seller and say, "Hey, you're gonna pay me 4%." To give you an example, I'm gonna keep two. I'm gonna give it to our buyer's agent. That's how that's how MLS works, or that's how LIBOR works, or that's how real estate works. All that conversation is out the window now. We cannot have that conversation any longer. You're gonna say, "Hey, there might be a listing that the sellers are not paying the commission to us, and you have to explain to them what value you're bringing to the client." But three different ways it will have an effect on everyone. Okay, so I really want you guys to think about this and let me know if you guys can answer this, right? Do you, or at least do you guys agree with this? The biggest misconception about real estate agents: consumers think that the job is easy, is big checks with little work. Does anyone want to put into any throw in any input of that? Do you guys agree or disagree with that? Are you guys getting big checks and are you guys putting in little work? Anyone? Nobody agrees or disagrees? Okay. How about if any of you guys done a co-op? Co-op, right? So co-op is what? Is a big check? It's a small check. Yeah. Yeah. So the point here is like if anybody tells you, hey, you guys making big checks and you guys doing little work, you guys want to bring that up when you having a presentation for your clients. Hey, people think that hey, we don't do a lot of work or we get big checks and we're doing little work. It's just not true. There's a lot of things that we want to make sure that we're protecting you with. Number one is the price itself. If we can save you 10, 20, $30,000 right off the bat, that's number one. You're building equity from day one. Some of them, these guys will be saying, hey, what is equity? You have to the one that's breaking it down. Hey, equity is going to be the profit that you actually have that money in that house that you have a price. Let's say you paid $500,000 for it. You have a mortgage of $400,000, right? That remaining $100,000, that's your equity. You have to break that down into that simplest term for your client, right? Hey, I'm gonna have built equity from day one. Hey, what is that? Give them that breakdown. Hey, there's a lot of steps. We're going to save you from home inspection, right? Make sure everything is well with home inspection. We're going to save you from bank appraisal contingencies to make sure that whatever price you're paying, that the banks are agreeing to that. If we don't do that, then we will have a problem at the appraisal, right? So these things you will have to talk to your client about, but you're the one who's bringing that up to them. Like, hey, some people think that, hey, we make big money, but we do little work. It's just not the case. Nobody should agree with this with this terms here. Okay. So when you're having a conversation, this is how I see it as some of our agents or some even my including myself when we got started with in this business. Hey, I get a phone call. Hey, I'm looking for to purchase a house. Great. You're gonna look for which area are you looking for? Hey, I'm looking in Queens here in South Ocean Park. I'm looking for 40 by 100 lot size. I want 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. My budget is around $700,000. Can you help me? Yeah, sure, I can help you out. Let me send you links right now. Let me send you that in KV Core right now so we can get that started. All of that pieces right there is good, but it's not enough for you to get that commission. It's not enough for you guys to stick out from rest of everybody else. So you guys have to have a presentation. We have a buyer's presentation made out. We went over this with you guys before, but before now the time has come that we should review that individually here one-on-one with me if you guys want to practice, and after that you want to practice with your clients, right? How long should that presence should be, right? It should be at least 45 minutes. And some of you guys say, hey, oh my god, that long? What are we going to talk about in 45 minutes, right? That's the whole point. You don't want to be that person just getting that information over the phone for 5 minutes, sending them the links, and then say, hey, voila, I'm going to keep sending you links. Tell me what you like. I'll go take a look at it. How about if you keep sending them that link, that person, you're not available, that person goes to the open house directly and trying to cut you out. You know how buyers are. They will try to cut you out in no time as long as they can get that property. You have to bring that value of telling them, hey, come meet me in our office here, right? Where will you meet your buyer? In the office. Why not over the phone? You don't have that personal touch. You can't do your presentation over the phone. You don't know what they're doing on their end, right? Maybe they're busy doing something else with their family member and they have their headset on and they're just, listening to you. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. You have to bring them into the office, take them to the conference room or take them to one of these desks here and go through the whole presentation. Hey, this is going to be your whole buying process. Even if they don't stick with you, trust me, after that 45 minutes, they will think that you are professional, which you are because you're giving them the full presentation. You're giving them all ins and outs of buying a house. You're taking them from just buying a house, just the concept of it, to the closing table, and there's a million different things that goes into it, and you guys want the one that's got to be, you know expert in your presentation. Be confident. If there's something in your presentation you want to change it. You don't want to be the last minute guy that's going through a presentation, hey, I'm supposed to scratch this off or that. Practice your presentations. And you can, do you need to bring your laptop or iPad? Some of you guys are just bringing having those printouts on PDF file. It's perfectly fine as long as you can get your message across, as long as your client understands the process and you're the one who's bringing value to it, they should stick with you and they should sign your buyer's agreement. If you're not doing this, there's no value. They will not bring, or they will not simply sign any agreements with you guys. And we're having this conversation with another agent. When do you think that when I show them the property, this is when they will sign the agreement? You want to get this agreement signed beforehand, and you want to tell them, hey, things are changing, commission structures are changing. If and just lay it out. Hey, if I get paid from the seller side, there's nothing to worry about. If there's no commission from the seller side, then I need to charge you this much. But more importantly, give them value. How are you going to help them throughout the process? Okay. And the disclosures are required, right? Disclosures simply are required for the buyer, from the seller, for your renting. Anytime that is the form, anytime you're representing any party, you want to have your disclosures out, right? There's an overview on how to give your agency disclosure form to the seller. Now, let's say you're at the listing presentation, right? This is your setting. That's going to be your listing presentation. Who's the presenter is going to be you. You're the seller's agent. Who's the recipient is going to be your seller. And you want to introduce yourself, give them the whole breakdown, what is required by the law. Hey, I'm representing you. I want to tell you what is involved in this, right? Discuss your obligation. Hey, Mr. Seller, I'm going to be representing you. I have the best interest for you, and I'm going to get you the maximum price for this property. Okay, it'll be headacheless. You don't need any headaches when we're going through home inspection, bank appraisal contingency. I'm your agent. I'm going to take care of that. How I'm going to sell this, I'm going to put it on MLS. It's going to be on Zillow and all the other websites out there and throughout my agency. So we want to make sure if there's a dual agency doesn't mean that you're representing both parties, but it could be that there's two agents from the same company here. It could be Sheldon and it could be Tolochin on the same deal here, and they'll still be considered a dual agency. Okay. And you want to explain to them, hey, if it's going to be a dual agency, we will give you a full breakdown of that as well. So again, you have to bring in value to your clients. And then why hire agent who is a realtor, right? There are some agents out there who are not part of MLS. They're not realtors. We know that this is a term that can only be used by realtors as part of MLS and part of a realtor NAR association, right? That roughly 9 in 10 buyers work with real estate agent who help negotiate the best price and terms. Best price, right? Let's talk about that. We're saying we want to save your clients much money as possible. Sometimes it is over the asking price, but you have to explain to your clients that it is a strategy that the listing agent is doing when they're putting the price on the lower end compared to the higher end. You guys know that inside out now, right? Sellers without a realtor, for sale by owner homes sell for about 26% less than agents, right? So if they hire the agent, one, if it's a for sale by owner, they have to go through all the hoops by themselves. But if it's a realtor, they put that realtor in the front. He's like, you do all this running around and make sure that everything is good, right? But if it's a full sale by owner who's trying to save, let's say, 2 or 3%, whatever the amount is, and they're gonna be losing money because end of the day they might get tired and say, hey, I'm gonna just go with this offer compared to uh, anything higher that the agent would bring in. And when your agent is putting a property on the market, there's more eyeballs, right? People are looking on Zillow and other websites, and you have more people coming into that same house compared to a for sale by owner. Okay. When you use a real estate agent, right, they help you with things like navigate legal details, including managing attorney reviews. We don't want to manage or review the contract for them, but we want to guide them to attorney. Hey, we work with Richard, we work with Harpreet, we work with these attorneys. But if you have already worked with another attorney and you guys are happy with it, go for it. But if you need any help, I'm here to help you. You guys need a good inspector, I got Mr. Hassan for you. You need a good attorney, I have Richard for you. You need a appraisal. If you want to get Mr. Seller, you want to do appraisal before we list it, we have guys for that. You want to get a survey done, we have a guy for that. So you are the one who's saying, hey, I have links to all these different departments for you to navigate. You're not required to use any of them, but it's recommended you at least take a look at it. Okay. And you understand your financial, especially our loan officers, with the mortgage rates and terms, appraisals, inspections, and all that, right? Some of these realtors have great connection with their loan officers, right? We're building that in the past year or so too. So we want all our loan officers to be connected with the realtors, so both of them can work together to help out the client. Absolutely no kickbacks, but end of the day, you guys have a mutual client, which is your buyer, and you want to both of you guys have the same goal. Your goal is to take them to the closing fast as possible, right? Seamless. You don't want any headaches for your client. Make it easy as possible. So you're going to do that as a team. Okay. You want to uncover anything like, property taxes or any liens. We have Property Shark, right, as a tool. So you can before you put in an offer, you can say, hey, this property has 3 open permits, has 5 violations. You know, do we really want to go through this with an offer? If you guys do, let's put in a lower offer compared to a higher offer where the property has no issues at all. Okay, those things will help you, your client, get that property and stay secure. Okay. On the other hand, if you're not using a realtor, you got to make sense out of all that legal thing by yourself, right? Um, just the quite opposite. You have to learn all the, you got to. They don't have that tool. Even if it's a buyer, they might see a property on Zillow, but they don't have all the details that they need that you have all the tools for. Okay. One of the tools is your RPR. It's part of your membership. If your for your MLS, some of you guys have hard time logging into that for some reason. It's pretty straightforward. If you need to reset your password, reset it. Do this before you actually have to, put in an offer. So this way you can do it for a property that you're living in right now. It could be renting, or you have that property yourself, you own it. Run those numbers through RPR. See how you make sense out of that. Do it for your neighbor, do it for another property. Get used to these reports, right? You have hundreds and hundreds of different data sets, over 150 million properties at your fingertips. Okay. And this program here, or the software, is no joke. Is one of the most powerful tool out there. We always talk about geodata. Why? Because geodata is quick. You put in an address, you scroll down all the way on the bottom. This is your value. Bang, I'm good with this. RPR is a lot more in depth. You want 80 pages? You can get 80 pages. You want 20 pages? You could get 20 pages. You can customize all the reports. You want to look professional? You have to go through this. Okay. We said, they have all the property that's available. It will give you all the data that you need all in one place, all the reports that you want to print out. This could be for the sellers, that could be for the buyer. If it's a seller is trying to sell their property, you would do a report for them. Hey, this is your property compared to all the other properties in the neighborhood with the similar specs. If it's the buyer, hey, you just sold this property, you want to put an offer. I checked geodata, I got this number. Let me go with RPR and let's do a full depth in a report through RPR. Okay, both of these tools are super powerful. Just because it seems like it's free, it's not. You're already paying for this part of your membership, so please use them. Okay. Okay. Some of these new agents, we're highly encouraging them, the way the market is going, that be part of rentals. Do not say no to rentals, guys. Some of you guys, we just met, Rupinder just mentioned. Sorry, there's some music going on. 1 second, guys. All right, so you want to be part of the rentals, right? Some of these new people that is joining us and everything, we're highly encouraging them to be on the rental side. Why? Is that you can close quicker, right? If you're waiting for your buyer to purchase a house, it might take them months to do that or find the right property. We know it's limited inventory, high interest rates. They might not be ready, but why not be part of the rentals, right? And I really want you guys to learn inside out about City Febs, right? This is a program that's offered by the city. Is a voucher. It gives to the to the tenants to look for a property. And the good thing about this is that you, as a realtor, can get paid 15% commission off the annual rent. So let's say the annual rent is your monthly rent is $2,500, right? And that's your $2,500 per month rent. You multiply that by 12. There's 12 months in a year. You get 30,000. That means that your client is going to pay 30,000 to the landlord for that whole year. So you take 15% of that $30,000, you making $4,500. Okay, that's a good program, good system to work with. So you guys want to learn that. I believe in here we have Sheldon. Sheldon, I believe you know the whole process. Just for a minute, you just want to give your input on this City Febs. If it's easy, hard, anything on that note. Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah. So a couple of things. One is not as fast as we mentioned. If it's going to be a regular rental, it's a lot quicker, right? Like you mentioned, he has seen between 1 and 4 months. It's a long time, but you still want to have those in the pipeline. When you're having a conversation regarding bad people or good people, even people who seem great on paper, making good money and all that, they can be renting at your place and then switch up the following month. There's no guarantee with any tenant, right? So them just assuming that this person is getting a voucher or getting any support from the city, these are bad people. No, they're just going through some hard times. They're just not bad. They're not bad people. As long as you qualify for a program, you should get your money as long as you qualify. That's what's exactly happening with these rentals. The point here is overall that be part of rentals. Do not say no, especially your even if you get a client for commercial, call me. Hey, I have a client. I have never done commercial rental. How are you going to help me? And we will run this together and make sure you guys are on board with that. Right? Just remember you doing your first deal in real estate. You had no clue, the steps, no clue how much this cost or how long will this process be. But after closing few deals, you guys became expert, right? Or at least know all the steps. After, some of you guys are already on level 4 as agents and you guys know everything inside out. Great. But do you guys know everything about commercial, everything about other things that's going on? Probably not. So you guys don't want to say no to residential or your commercial rentals. Okay, be part of them, please. Okay. Someone asked us, I believe Miranda, before this meeting and everything. She wanted to put a for sale or for rent sign. So when you're creating for sale or for rent signs, we have a template. We can, update it according to your preference and send it to you guys. If it's your first sign ever, we make that for free for you guys as LJ company here. But if you guys want to make it on your own, just follow this. As long as you guys follow this, we have no issue with that. It is required by the state that you put in your brokerage company name, LJ Realty Team. You have your agent's name. We using Miranda here, and then your phone number. Our office number can be small. We don't have to make it a large number. Just put a small font. It's perfectly fine. Obviously, your phone number should be huge. Make that big so it sticks out. You want your clients to call you. Obviously, we have to make sure that our company number is there. Just small is good enough. The company address. And for the logos, if you add our company logo, great. It's not required, but if you do, we appreciate it. But it is required that you add your equal housing opportunity sign and the realtor sign. Okay. You're already part of realtor. This is required. This is optional. The realtor is optional. Your equal housing opportunity is required. So you want to put both there. And, if you need this original file, we have it. Some of you guys want to put your photo, some of you guys don't want to put your photo. I prefer that you guys put your photo. People remember the signs a lot better when there's a photo involved. So no photo is required, but it's highly recommended. Okay. All right, guys. So next, we want to talk about listreport.com. It's a tool that we have available from our mortgage side. Joss has an active account there. I believe Hassan already has an active account. I believe Terlochin should be signing up soon. So you guys will start getting invites from our company. So instead of us inviting everybody from our company, we want to give a fair amount of time for our loan officers to join this listreports.com tool where they have to pay, but it's a free tool for our realtors. It's not a kickback or anything like that. It's just a free tool available through listreport.com. So I want to give you a live example of what you're going to go through with that. Okay. So I hope everyone can, because I switched the screen here, everyone can still see my screen here. Okay. It says, what do agents get with List Report? Right? That's your most common question. What a real estate agent will get with this? First is that you're going to get free, fresh daily content. Right? You're going to get an email from listreport.com as a realtor. It's going to have some social media content, your news, what's locally available, how's your local market doing every single day, right? And it's going to be because you're the one who's choosing the areas and everything is going to be tailored to you. Okay. And the daily list report, you're gonna receive an email will look something like this here. Okay, shareables. You can share these posts that's going to be available. So instead of our assistant here, she's sending you guys a post every single day. Usually it's a generic one, but you guys can go in more in depth with our list report and get some things like this, right? So I'm going to show you real examples too. Notables as well. Anything, three articles that's happening today. So just like with these meetings that you're going through, on weekly basis, with these you will see on daily basis. Okay. You can build your brand with ease because you're going to be posting on a regular basis through these social media, through this platform. You will see your following grow. Anything you have a new listing that's available, you can share that with just listed, open house, under contract, or just sold templates. Very easy to use. Okay, it's going to have your marketing kits, but you need a flyer for your open house. You want digital marketing tools you can create for single family websites, just sold, any area highlights. You can do a lot with this, especially with your neighborhood reports. Okay, and you're going to be paired with another agent, so you're going to be paired with a loan officer so you can unlock all these features. This is a shareable library. It has over 750 images, a lot of images, a lot of different things that you guys can share. And it has to do with real estate, it has to do with mortgages. So anything you copying from here and posting on your social media should be helpful for your clients, right? So you're going to be sticking out from the rest of the people there. Okay. Again, with local market data, you can see similar things there. Okay. If you guys are like to make videos, if you guys want to post things online, there are some talking points. These are some bullet points that you can simply go down the list with. Okay. This is what we like the most here. It's called list packs here. You're gonna see 15 plus themes to choose from, and they get updated automatically. And they're getting all this data from MLS. We are already part of MLS, so all that data is coming from there. So you can see, hey, top 10 most expensive homes in that area, or top 10 largest homes, or top 10 biggest lots. So 25 single story homes. So nice criteria that they already have as templates. You're simply clicking on it and sharing it with your clients on social media. Okay. If you want to go do this, we have this feature in KV Core, but they go a little bit more in depth through list reports for your property search. Okay. So this is for a single property website. So this is really nice. So if you can create QR codes out of this. So if you have an open house, and we prefer that when you do have an open house, take a loan officer with you, right? We have 16 loan officers. If you're hosting an open house this weekend, tell them, hey, I want you to come with me, and let's educate these clients with different programs when they're coming to see the house. First, they look at the whole house. If they're good with it, and they might say, hey, I have a loan officer here, if you have any questions, speak to them, right? First, let them see the house. When they're exiting, this is when the loan officer should be getting involved and make sure that they do qualify or answer any question that they might have. Okay. Same thing for just sold properties here. And again, we mentioned QR codes. So your loan officer or yourself, you guys can create QR codes here. So where your client scans it, and they see all the information that they need to see for that property. Okay. This is what it looks like once you're logged in. You will get an invite from these loan officers. Once you accept that invite, you guys will have an account available. Even if you don't want to work with any of the loan officer, if you just go to listreport.com, as a realtor, you guys can create a free account. But if you want to unlock all these features, you have to be paired. So myself here, if I go to my loan officer here, I should see Josh's information pop up. Okay. Okay, list pack we spoke about. If I want to post today, hey, top 10 most expensive homes, I'm going to just click on it and go through this and save it. Okay, so the whole point here is that it's a good program, no obligation for you guys. If you guys want to use it, great. We will be sending out invites to you guys to your email. Accept it if you really want to. Okay, it's a good tool for you guys. Any questions on this? All right, guys, I'm gonna go back to the presentation. I hope everyone can still see the screen here. Okay. Next, guys, we want to talk about foreclosures, right? Foreclosures are great properties if you can get them a good deal for your client. This is available in Hempstead, just came on the market, 40 Sunnyside Ave. You have your MLS here. You have your MLS number here. It is a 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1,700 square feet built, and 4,300 lot size here. So these are good specs. The taxes are $12,000. So if you have an investor that was looking to flip a property, this is a great one. They might have to pay all cash for this. They might not. But if you have an investor, send them this property so you guys can show them. Okay. Forget about putting in an offer. Forget about going anything else. Just send them the link. So it's like, hey, do you like this property? Is it close by? If it fits in your criteria, can we see it inside? Go with your client, see the property, and see if they actually like it. Then talk about the valuation or the price point. Okay. And when you're seeing the properties there, this is located in Hempstead. It's 40 Sunnyside Avenue in Hempstead. You welcome. Yeah. So the MLS, if you guys want to jot it down, is 3515531. Okay. The reason I picked this property, the taxes are low, the price point is good, the square feet is really nice. Usually, you see if someone asks you, "Hey, if it's a single family, what is the square feet that's built that's decent?" You don't want less than 1,300. 12 to 1,300 is your average. If you see a property that has a square feet built size 900, you have to think right away, or you have to notify your client, "Hey, the square feet is not a lot." Right? It's 900 square feet. So I don't know what kind of room or bedrooms are there. Maybe they might be really cozy. When they say cozy, it just means that it's small, right? When on the other hand, if you see square feet 1,700, right away it should come to your mind. You're like, hey, this place is going to be spacious, right? It should have enough room. It should have enough. The room sizes should be big enough because the built size is 1,700 square feet compared to 900 that we just spoke about. The lot size in Hempstead compared to other ones is not huge, but because all the other specs are good, I would definitely show this to your investors. Okay. Commercial listings, some of you guys already know this, loopnet.com. Okay. Just loopnet.com. Put in the area that you want to serve, see the commercial listings. Same thing for rentals. We spoke about that earlier. If you have a client that's looking to rent out a commercial place, look for that, right? We're actively looking for an office for ourselves here. So if you guys see any off market properties not on LoopNet, notify me so we can take a look at it together. Okay. So we have a lot of listings available that's listed by our agents here. We have listed by Paul, Aviana, Serbjeet here, Rupinder have a few of them, Sanjay, Lovejeet, Maninder, Rahul. So we have a lot of new agents that have these listings as well. So please support them. If you can go see their open houses, great. If you have a client to show them and the private showings, great. But when you have a client, look for our in-office properties and show them as well. We're not saying don't show anything else, show this and whatever is available on the market. Okay. When they have an open house, go take a look at the open house, even if you don't have any clients to support them and see. Sometimes when you go there, things do change. Maybe all of a sudden you say, hey, this might be great for this client or that client. Instanet, I feel like I don't think any issues are there, but anybody has any issues with the offers or anything like that, let us know. Everything's straightforward in your transaction desk. Okay. Open house signs, guys. We have this issue where more and more agents do want open house signs. So we don't have any free open house signs. We are not going to be buying new open house signs, simply put. So if you're going to be a listing agent, you would need open house signs. You would purchase them. They are around $100. You guys can shop around. There's some some stands with weak support that might be cheaper. They might be some more expensive, but 100 is the average. So If you guys can shop around, especially in your next listing, you have them. We're not taking the old ones back and not giving it back. Those, we have about 10 of them in rotation. The only request that we do have is that, please, if you take your open house signs, return them back so other people can use them, right? When you do come in, our assistant here, Sukman, she monitors all our open house signs. Just notify her and she can update our system. Okay. But moving forward, new open house signs, if you guys need them, new ones, you would have to purchase them. Okay. Last thing I want to talk about is going to be our meeting that's happening on this Saturday. It's going to be November 18th. We highly recommend that you guys can come. This, some people that's on the meeting now, but some people are watching this recorded. Please, on Saturday, November 18th, if you guys can come here, 11 to 1, realtors and loan officers, we will go through a lot of different things. We did not have a meeting for about 2 months now, or a little bit more, but we do want you guys to come in, interact with other people, bring your business cards. When you're having a conversation with your other agents and everything, instead of them taking down their phone number, be professional. Bring your business card, give that to them, and vice versa. Take theirs. Okay. End of the year is coming, guys. Some of you guys are really active. Some of you guys are not. We respect both ways. It's all up to you. You guys are independent contractor. We are there to support you guys. Either way you guys want it, right? But set your goals. I want to close this many deals next year, and talk to me and see how we're going to make that happen if you need any help. Some of you guys already have enough clientele. Simply put, they're just waiting for the interest rates to drop. We'll see how that comes. But set a goal. Hey, I need to close this many deals in order to make this much money, and how I'm going to make that happen. You have all the tools available that a professional or realtor should have, and I feel like you guys all have that capability of doing it. It's just you guys putting in the effort and making that happen. Okay? And that will do it from our end. Any guys, any questions, concerns, anything in your mind, or any suggestions for next week? Sure. Going more in depth about rentals. Okay. So next meeting we'll go in more about that. Any disclosure forms or the steps? You want to go through city fabs because that's where you guys making 15%. I got you. Nope. Perfect. So we'll go through both next time, next meeting. So like I said, guys, these feedback is really grateful. So just tell us what do you guys want to learn, and we'll go through that in depth. Okay. Anything else, guys? Yes.